From the Woodshed, a casual conversation with Chase Morrill and Ryan Eldridge of Kennebec Cabin Company, the team that inspired the hit show Maine Cabin Masters. From the Woodshed is brought to you by NELMA. See the stamp, trust the quality. By Hammond Lumber, your building project partner. By Kennebec Savings Bank, helping our local community save, thrive, and grow for over 150 years. And by Hero Media Network, connecting small business with new customers. Now, from the Woodshed Studios in Manchester, Maine, it's Chase and Ryan.
From the Woodshed, I'm Chase Morrill. With me today, we've got a special co-host, Kim Drew. And of course, Maggie Morrill's here as well.
Hi.
Our guest today is Jeff Easterling, president of NELMA, Northeast Lumber Manufacturing Association. You can find us at KennebeCCabinCompany.com, MaineCabinMasters.com, our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel, our online store, shop.KennebecCabinCompany.com. And we always want to thank our sponsors, NELMA, Northeast Lumber Manufacturing Association, Hero Media Network, connecting small business with new customers, Hammond Lumber Company, the official building materials supplier of Kennebec Cabin Company, and Kennebec Savings Bank, helping our local community save, thrive, and grow for over 150 years. Well, welcome, Kim.
Thank you. It is so exciting to be here on this side of the microphone. I'm used to being on the other side, out of the room, down south.
Yeah, running the show from...
No, helping Jen run the show. Jen runs the show. I am her assistant.
I don't know about that.
But you've been a huge help to us from the very beginning. And
it's an honor.
Yeah, it's been a great relationship. Mm-hmm. And you also, you work with NELMA. And that's how we got to know you. So
I do.
Yeah.
There's a lovely story there. But first I have to say I am very honored to be one of the first people to sit behind this desk with a Southern accent. So everyone watching who's so used to the lovely Maine accents is probably going, what is she saying? I can't understand her. So I am a public relations professional. I'm a PR person, have been my entire career. Got into the building products industry a little over 20 years ago and started working with NELMA about 10 years ago. I've known President Jeff Easterling, who we'll talk to in a little bit. I've known him, 25 years, I think, 24, 25 years. And we've worked together at different jobs where he has been. And so that's how we started. I've been doing PR for NELMA for about 10 years. And about 4.5 years ago, I think, we had a couple members come to us and say, hey, there's this great new show on DIY Network called Maine Cabin Masters. And total transparency, I went, who? And had not, it was your first season.
Oh, yeah.
First season.
Oh, no.
So we thought, okay, well, they're building in Maine. NELMA is headquartered in Maine. We promote, Eastern White Pine and SPFS in Maine. So this needs to happen. So it took 3 months for me to track down your then producer because I didn't know how to get to y'all.
Sure.
So, and the proper thing to do is to go to the producer. So finally got to the producer and had a call with him that went something along the lines of, hey, this is Kim Drew with NELMA. We'd like to donate some Eastern White Pine to the show, Maine Cabin Masters. Dead silence. You want to give us product? I was like, yes, we want to give you pine.
Yeah.
And so that's how it started. That was 4 years ago.
Yep, and it was camp up in Caratunk.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then we just got, deeper and deeper into our partnership. And one of the things that I am honored to do is to help with the podcast behind the scenes, working with Jen.
Absolutely. You help a ton, and you're always on the Monday night chat group.
Always on the Monday night chat group. So we have to say, can we say hello to everybody?
Yes.
We love our Monday night chat group. Yeah, everybody there. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So it's been great, and it's here's to several more years.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, and on a personal note, you've had a busy winter. Your son got married.
No, my daughter.
That's right.
Yes.
Sorry, no, not Ryan. Sorry, Ryan, not yet.
Yeah, Ryan just fell over. Yeah, no. Ryan is still in college.
Yes.
My daughter, Anna Catherine, got married December 10th. And Jen got to hear lots of wedding stories over the several months leading up to that. And can I say your involvement? Well, now I have to because I'm saying it. Can I share your involvement?
Sure.
Okay, don't anybody else ask Chase for this, but this was special. I had asked Chase, I'll tell you, Maggie and Jen, I think you know. But I had
Maggie
asked,
saw it or not.
did you see the cupcake tower? I had asked Chase to design. My daughter wanted to do cupcakes, not a wedding cake, because that's like the thing now. And I mean, it's great.
I mean, you had pine boughs and
The whole
cookie-
well,
I mean,
the whole wedding was supposed to be a glowing winter forest. So we had greenery coming out
Yes.
our noses and white candles and white lights. It was actually I'm biased, but it was very beautiful. And so I'd ask if you would design a cupcake tower for 200 cupcakes.
Yeah.
And 24 hours later, you send me a picture of what you've made.
Yeah.
And a week later, this huge box shows up at my house. So funny story to close the loop on that. When it was all over, my daughter said, and she's going to kill me for this. My daughter said, can I, I'm going to take that back. We're going to put it in our house. And I went, no, you're not. I said, no, Cupcake Tower is mine.
Oh, you should have torched it at the wedding.
We had several people walk by and go, where did you get this? I'm like, no. But we did have a sign up. I think I sent you a picture.
Yeah,
we had a sign up with your name on it.
Yeah,
It said, thank you to you. It was incredible. It was amazing. So yes, it's been hectic. It was a beautiful wedding. We love our new son-in-law. But it's nice to be a little bit quieter and calmer and just back to back to our normal life a little bit. So, and Ryan, don't get married for a while.
Sorry, Ryan.
But yeah, it's been great. But
And you're right outside of Atlanta?
I am about 35 miles north of Atlanta. So we don't say that we live in Atlanta because we don't want to live in Atlanta. I'm a native Atlantan, but now it's we're about 35 miles north. So it's a little quieter, a little smaller, not quite
Just
so
as
busy.
warm.
Just as warm. Although we've had snow twice this year. Not like Maine snow.
Sure.
I mean, not like real snow. We had, 2 inches, 3 inches.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, we had snow on a Saturday, and we all went out and stood out in it and just looked at it. That's what you do in the South.
So I have a call every week with Kim, and some weeks she'll be in like a t-shirt, and I'm like, and then other weeks she's like dressed in all her LL Bean stuff, and I'm like, what is the temperature there? She'll be like,
Yep.
It's 40. Like,
Okay, now there was like 2 or 3 weeks ago our call. It was in the 40s up here, and it was like 27 in Atlanta, and it was brutal. Or excuse me, in Johns Creek where I live, it was brutal, and well for us, brutal. I mean, this weather
That's
outside,
cold.
This weather outside right now, brutal, but I love it. But I'm so excited. Yeah, my husband laughs. He says he can always tell when I'm going up to visit Maine Cabin Masters because all the LL Bean stuff goes into head to toe, all goes into the suitcase. So.
Yeah. Well, glad you're here.
So yeah, thank you so much. It's good to be here. Can I ask Maggie a question during this session?
Of course.
What do we think about Harry's new music?
I'm so excited.
Is it what is it supposed to be? Is it going to be?
I don't know. I don't know. So it's coming out May 20th, the new album.
That's so exciting. I saw the teaser on Instagram.
Yeah.
Where he's wearing the little flare pants.
Yep.
He's super cute.
So if you put it, the teaser in reverse is like music.
Oh, is it really?
It's not like, doesn't have lyrics.
Okay, wait. Didn't the Beatles do that first?
I feel like some death metal, right?
But
If you listen to it backwards, it told you to.
The Walrus's Paul, right? I mean,
was it Pink Floyd or something? You listen to Pink
No, that was with the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, the Wizard
I
of
think
Oz.
these are all. I think these are all conspiracy theories.
there was something
No,
with
that
Pink
really
Floyd
worked.
where it like told it was bad though. It was bad.
Oh,
I think it like told you to do something bad, right?
not Pink Floyd.
No?
No.
If you played it backwards.
No, that was another.
Was that somebody else?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Maggie. So Harry. We're
Yeah.
all about Harry.
Yeah. I found out in school yesterday there were a bunch of kids and I fell on the ground. I was lying on the ground. Luckily my mom was there.
Yeah.
Wait, you found out and fell
you
to the
found
ground?
out and you felt
You passed out?
I lied
You
on the
found
ground
out
and
and
I
passed
threw,
out.
And I
That's
threw
like the
my
most-
I didn't.
That's the most Gen Z thing I've ever heard.
I lied on the ground and I threw my phone in the hallway.
Because you were so excited.
Yeah. And there were a bunch of kids there watching me and my teacher.
That's my reaction when there's a new episode
Don't
of Maine
throw-
Cabin Masters on. Throw my phone in the hallway and lay down, cry.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Well, when it's out, I want to hear your review because,
Okay.
I'm aware of it, but I don't
Yep.
really listen to him. I loved One Direction, though. I love them. I love all their music. Yeah. We played some at the wedding.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
When is it out?
May 20th.
We got a little while.
Mark your calendar.
I will.
That's very exciting.
Harry, if you're listening to this,
turn it off
Yeah.
quick.
Quit making my daughter throw her phone across the hall.
Yeah, Harry has to buy the next iPhone.
All right.
All right, well, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to the rest of the show. Thank you, Maggie, for not yelling at me. Please feel free to if you need.
I'm okay.
I have 2 children. I'm totally used to it. So
Good so far.
So yeah, we're going to take a short break. While we do, please enjoy this video about Trevor Dakers, created by our friends at Hero Media Network.
Yeah, I do sit a lot. 10 hours a day, minimum. Normal day starts with driving, no matter what. Vermont, New York, and then all over the state of Maine. And where it takes you, you never know which road to drive down in a town, and then the job takes you down this cool road, and usually there's really nice people at the other end. Started running the winch cat at Sugarloaf, which is pretty involved, and then started building the ski trails on really steep, crazy mountains. The second I started doing it, I wanted to do it. And I never really gave up until I had my own machine. A lot of people haven't seen it before, because it's sort of like a haircut. You're going in and you're being sort of aggressive with your land, and it's traumatic to some degree. So you have to make sure you explain what they will be getting, what they're seeing, how it will affect their land. But it usually always increases the love for the land. So people could be working on a site, tinkering on that site for a year, and then I could come in and do the whole place in a couple days and they're ready to go. And the forest is healthier when it's done. Yeah, I love it. It's just so cool.
All right. And we are back with our guest, Jeff Easterling from NELMA. He's been in charge and overseeing NELMA for over 20 years.
Oh, yeah. 20 long years. Oops, should I say that?
Would you like water, coffee, or beer?
Oh, beer, definitely.
All right. We have a Cold Harbor Brewing Company Double Ravina.
Sold.
All right.
There you go.
Tall.
Yeah. And I've got a Cold Harbor cold style if you prefer that. There's
Nope.
another one.
This looks great.
All right.
And I have water.
Or straight vodka.
Straight, you decide.
Yeah.
So how you been?
Good, good. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
A lot of things happened since I've been here last.
Yeah.
I mean, for you guys and NELMA, too.
And the world.
And the world. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But we have a great relationship with NELMA. We absolutely love it. So it's always great to get you up here and, yeah, just see what's going on in the world of Eastern White Pine.
Yeah, yeah. And spruce pine fir.
Of course.
South.
Yes. SPF, SPF, SPF.
So, yeah. There's been some new stuff at NELMA. Absolutely.
Nice.
We're going to make your life easier because we just spent a year consolidating all our websites under nelma.org.
Nice.
So you don't have to go that long string of websites, right?
Yep. That makes a big difference.
So it took a year because we've got a lot of information on all of our websites.
Yep.
And the trend is that where you actually can show different customers where to go immediately on your website. So it's all the same information, but just the navigation is much, much better.
That's always important.
So that was big.
Yeah.
As you know, we do inspections for lumber and timbers as part of our job, right to grade rules for Eastern White Pine. But we've added a treated inspection, treated wood. Which you guys use obviously a lot outdoor and stuff. You know what it looks like, and you may have noticed the end tags.
Yeah.
Or may not have.
I mean, I noticed they have them.
Yeah, well, it's...
You don't read them?
Yeah, really, that fine print? The guarantees on them?
That dang staple.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, that end tag is equivalent of a grade stamp.
Gotcha.
with the information of who treated it, what it's treated to, what chemical it's treated with, or preservative, I should say.
Yeah.
And so it's the equivalent of a grade 10, but they have the same criteria to make sure that it's treated properly to the standards itself. So we actually go in and to some of the treating plants in the Midwest and here in the Northeast and do that. And you'd have fun with it because you end up drilling core samples out of the edge of the lumber.
Really?
Yeah. So if you ever get a piece of pressure-treated wood, you may see some plugs that don't look quite like the lumber. That's where someone has taken a sample out of it to test.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's totally different out of what we normally do, but our inspectors enjoy it because it is something different to do.
So normal inspections of untreated wood, it would be so visual.
Just visual.
But because it's pressure treated, you need to see how far in it's been
treated. Yeah, how far the chemical has gone in, how much heartwood, because heartwood doesn't treat.
Oh.
So those are the two big criteria. And there's actually spray indicators that the guys use, they put all the core samples in a tray, and there's spray indicators on there that will tell them how far that preservative actually went into the wood. So it's pretty unique.
Does it always penetrate fully into the wood?
No, the requirements aren't that it has to go all the way in the wood. It's a certain, depending on the preservative, it's a certain depth that it must meet. And then obviously they test for heartwood because there can't be, a lot of heartwood because you just won't treat.
Interesting.
So it's different.
Yeah.
Little did you know, using that pressure-treated wood, what goes into it, right?
Right, of course. Everything's got grade. And there's different grades of that as well.
Not grades, just different retention levels.
Oh.
Whether it's like ground contact or above ground contact.
Oh.
So, and then there are multiple preservatives that they use or can use.
Yeah.
And so it could be a wide variety. So that's kind of the equivalent of a different grade, if you will.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
This may be a stupid question, but it's all pine, right? That's treated, or are there other species?
No, and not all softwood species will treat.
Right.
Spruce pine fir is one of them that is difficult to treat.
Because it's so dense?
No, it's the cell structure.
Oh.
Southern pine is the predominant treated species, even here in the Northeast.
Right.
As you've probably seen, because it's like a sponge, very large cells. The preservative will go in there with very little effort, and it can meet the retention levels pretty easy. The other species is red pine, and there's more of that in the Great Lakes area, but there is some here in Maine.
Yeah.
But there's only one treated facility in the state here.
In Mechanic Falls or mine?
Yeah. I think you all been there.
Yeah, I think when we did Camp Agassiz, Ryan took a field trip over there, and they donated all the pressure-treated material for that monstrous, under the gazebo.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever that carousel structure was.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, the Bumby family owns Maine Wood Treaters. Very good people. But now we do them, so we have them as part of our customer list.
How long have you guys been? When did that start up?
That started. The discussion started in probably August and September.
Oh wow!
And so it took a bit of training because it's so different, and our guys weren't used to it, to actually do it. But now they're all doing it on their own. So it's probably been 6, 7, 8 months.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's new.
Yeah.
And as you know, we do marketing.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you know that?
just in case you forgot. You never know.
How could we? We just put up a beautiful lift of V-Match 6-inch from Crowell and Durgan.
Durgan and Kroll.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
nice
grateful
stuff.
to them for that donation. It was beautiful.
Yeah. And the guys, they're like, whoa. Like, we're putting this stuff on the walls? I'm like, yes.
It's donated, yeah.
Don't scratch them.
Yeah, that's one good innovation the industry's had, as you know, for several years now, is that pre-finished.
Yeah.
That really looks nice, and they've come a long way with it, too.
Yeah.
and that was one of the newer brands, if you will.
Yes. It's a
Gotcha.
brand new product. I think y'all are probably the first to
Really?
use it in this capacity.
Nice. I mean, yeah, it had a nice gloss finish
yeah.
and went
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, anyway, marketing, absolutely. Last year, we kind of took a step back because the age-old question for us has been, who is the influencer in making decisions on what's being used in either new construction or renovation? So, we thought it was like architects and sometimes builders and sometimes maybe even the retailer are helping the consumer decide what to use. So we really did an intensive research to try to figure that out. And it was pretty intricate where we used a platform where you actually interview for like an hour individuals that are involved in
On
either
video.
Yes,
Yeah.
like a Zoom type interview with them to just casually talk about how did they make their decisions or how are they making decisions. And this platform gives you thousands of individuals that apply, if you will, because they meet the criteria of either building a new house or major renovation. So we completed that. And it was quite interesting, and I'll ask you that question. Who do you think is the who or what, I should say, is the biggest influencer on individuals for what they put up in a house?
Like, what's the main source? Where do people get their information
they
when
go?
they're deciding on what to put in their home?
Who or what?
I would say retailer.
Well, okay. That's what we used to think. That's what we used to think.
Don't say television.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
There are
actually not even television.
two top,
It's
Internet?
Pinterest.
Social media.
And
Social media.
Pinterest.
Overwhelming, no matter which part of the country these individuals were from. That was the predominant place they go to, and they can pin their boards, but they share it with their architect and they share it with their contractors and builders. We were flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Don't say TikTok.
Instagram. What, Instagram? Instagram was the other one.
But TV shows
Pinterest,
is one of
Instagram.
them. TV shows is one of them.
Yes, absolutely. And we
And-
should say, that we ask, the question like, well, do you watch any
Yeah.
construction shows, do-it-yourself? And Maine Cabin Masters was mentioned.
Many times.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The number one show that was mentioned
So
is
it
your
was-
new parent.
Magnolia?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Chip and Joanna.
Sure. Ship
But yeah.
lap.
Oh,
right?
God.
Isn't that?
Yes. Yes. Shiplap.
Instagram too. That
Yes. Yeah.
that shouldn't surprise me, but it does.
Well, it surprised us how overwhelming every single one. Yes, I do a board, and sometimes they're saying their architect or builder suggests they go there. Build their board, share it with them so they can see what the look,
Yep.
if you will, what they want. So that was quite interesting information that we consider valid.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
And so we're going to, this year we will be already pointing our marketing program a little bit closer to that.
Yeah. Now, 10 years ago, would you have said retailer? I mean, well,
No, I think it was probably
Less than 10.
Yeah, so
less than 10.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Well, but I mean, even then, you would have included magazines.
Oh,
Yeah. So there was
the original Pinterest.
The original Pinterest. Yes, just fold that corner down, pin it, fold the corner
Right.
down. But I was involved with another group about 10 or 12 years ago that did some consumer research on a different species of wood, not as good, and. And yeah, it was magazines. It was, Southern Living and Better Homes and Gardens and Sunset and all of those home improvement magazines that are now all digital.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's interesting to see how that's all changed so much.
Yeah. A couple years ago, we had a huge push for retailer outreach, which was good, just educating them on what the products are, but they fall way down the list as far as an influencer.
So I guess I'm not very familiar. I mean, I know Pinterest exists. I think I have an account now. But is it like do retailers, where do these pictures come from, I guess, that people are pulling?
Wood associations.
Where don't they come from?
That's a great
True.
point. That's a great point. People will post pictures from their house.
So somebody,
And here I just put in some new wood flooring. So look at my wood flooring and then hashtag it wood flooring. And then I go on looking for,
so that's what it's the hashtags.
that's how you search
Got
it.
it. Got
Yeah,
it.
I think. Is that right, Maggie?
I have no idea.
I know. I've been on Pinterest for about a minute in
Of course,
my
the one
entire
time,
life.
Ryan, the Pinterest king, he's
Right?
not here today.
Everything gets categorized with Pinterest. So you can go in and be like, I
Home
use it for
improvement.
recipes a lot.
Yes.
And I'll be like,
yeah.
chicken recipes.
Yeah.
Or you could just go
Yeah.
and put wood flooring. And I don't know how it.
So will NELMA have like a catalog of Pinterest pins?
We will absolutely put every image that we've ever owned for 20 years
Yeah.
on it,
Yeah.
basically.
So yes.
And then categorize it because you can title it
Yeah.
flooring, siding, ceiling, whatever application.
VMAT, shiplap, novelty,
Not ship.
clapboard,
Yes.
on and on and on.
On and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
But really, the application, that's the key, what the search is. Oh, geez, I want to make an accent wall.
Yep.
So we'll categorize it like by that. But we have a ton of images. Some of your guys'
yeah,
stuff,
Right,
too.
right. That's how it all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
look forward
You'll
to
recognize some of the images.
that. Yeah.
Perfect.
So that was last year. That was a really good project, and I'm glad we stepped back, and kind of, okay,
Sure.
where do we need to really focus our attention on?
Oh. And is NELMA, NELMA kind of covers the whole spectrum as far as, well, it sounds like from manufacturers to individuals purchasing at this point, right? Your job is to promote Eastern White Pine SPF, so anybody who touches it, you're trying to reach.
Right. We're trying to reach them with information about the product.
Yep.
And so this just gives another element of Pinterest will give us another element of ways to reach them, obviously. We will still have activities with architects, builders, retailers.
Oh, right.
For sure, because we have a lot of collateral that we use for them or trade shows or stuff like that. But this will really give us hopefully even more visibility to the people that are buying and making decisions.
Nice. And speaking of trade shows, we've been to quite a few with you guys. Unfortunately, got suspended for a few years, but seems like things are
Cranking back
up.
Yeah, the International Builder Show was probably back to attendance from 4 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, NHB said it was only down, well, this was about 3 weeks before. They said it was only down about 10% from pre-COVID.
Wow.
And it was in Orlando, too, which is always really, really popular because there's so much building on the East Coast.
Yep.
So it's very, very popular. But so by Vegas next year, mark your calendars.
Yeah. It's back in Vegas already?
It is. And it's permanent. They're not going back to Orlando anymore. Permanent. Vegas all the time. So yeah, but yeah, mark your calendar for that. But by the time we go back to Vegas, it should be huge again, like 80, 90,000 probably.
It's gigantic.
Oh, and
Enormous.
there are two shows there, right? There's the Builder Show and then the Kitchen and Bath Show. Starting in 2023, they're adding in the National Hardware Show. So it's going to be 3 shows in one. So it'll clear 100,000, I would expect.
Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah.
Holy smokes.
It'll be epic.
Yeah, get ready.
Get ready.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you almost need a day per floor or
you do.
wing or whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I've been going to that show for probably 35 years. And
26, 27?
yeah, for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to me, it gets overwhelming.
Sure.
You walk one hall and it's like, okay, overload. Overload.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's central for any new product, as you saw, because a lot of them debut their new products there.
Right. And it's amazing the technological advances with some of the products, whether it's a toilet or, just your whole house being wired in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But, Pine and all the SPF, they're still
hanging in there.
They have unchanged. I mean, really, if you think about it, which just shows how it just stands the test of time.
Yeah, and we will get comments at our exhibit about, oh, we're so glad wood is still here. Because it's not. I mean, it's limited what you see really wood. You'll see composites. You'll see
that have a wood
fake
look.
stuff. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But we'll get comments from builders like, oh, I'm glad to see wood. It's funny.
I think there's definitely been a, not a throwback, but sort of a turning back to it because of the shutdown and everything, because people want, and we've talked about this before, people want more authenticity and they want natural things and they want realness. And so that translates to wood in their house. They don't want the fake plastic. They want real. You don't walk up to a piece of, steel framing and go, ooh, this is so nice, and touch it.
So good.
But you do that with wood all the time.
For sure,
So it's,
for sure.
yeah. And what's that word? What's the word?
I don't know.
Biophilia.
Biophilia.
Yes.
The love of wood.
Yes, the love of nature.
Biophilia.
Yes,
Makes me feel so good, right? I'm surrounded in wood here.
it is. I know. See,
Feels so
I am
much better.
calm just being in this room.
I know. Yeah, me too.
It's right up there with sweaty balls.
Stop.
You weren't going to do it, so I had to.
I'm sitting here trying to think how to work it in, but there you go. There you go. Well done.
Maggie, can't you control them?
I try so hard. Sometimes.
And I guess the last update would be of interest would be we're looking at launching another lumber testing because we test a lot of lumber for strength values. We're launching a project here that may potentially increase those strength values.
And explain what strength values are and why they matter to people walking into stores.
Right. And what that means is that for especially spans, be able to span, if you have some of the higher strength value or properties, you can span further.
Sure.
And use it in different applications. Like right now, SPF-S, it has limited use in truss manufacturing and, say, modular home, where the strength values aren't quite, in some cases, applications where they should be. Certainly not as high as southern pine or Douglas fir, some of those, but even not as high at this point in some of the properties as SPF from Canada. So we have tested lumber since 2001, at least, thousands of pieces. And what that data has shown us that, every time it comes out higher than what we publish for architects and builders and engineers to use. So that could be really exciting. It's not a quick project, but it could really benefit the mills and big time of using SPF-S where it couldn't be used before.
So I don't understand.
Okay. Ask questions. Let me break it down.
When you say the results come out higher than expected.
Like you guys had Russell Egger on not long
From
after.
UMaine.
From University of Maine, the advanced products lab there.
Yep.
And they're the ones that do the actual, they have all the apparatus that breaks lumber.
Right. They have the machinery that, puts pressure on different...
Pulls it, twists it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that comes out with a reading of what the strength is for that particular piece. And then you put them all together, and after analysis comes out with a design value.
Sure.
And that's how it was originally done in 1991.
And so that basically sets the standard so engineers and architects can look at that and say, okay, if I'm spanning 10 feet, I need to use such and such size of board because of the sheer force on it or whatever.
Exactly, of knowing what the maximum strength is for that particular species. And every species does it, west, south, Canada.
Yep.
We all have to do it. And so we think now that if we do a little bit larger, more intricate testing program, that we can prove that those are higher. And it would be published as higher.
Which means it can be used in more places, more applications.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
So it would really benefit the mills that stamp SPF-S.
Yeah, for sure.
which is all over the New England and Great Lakes.
So why do you think that is? Or is that not your responsibility?
No, it's probably. No, I'll
Love
tell
my
you.
pay grade.
Right. No, I mean, yeah. I just.
I'll tell you, but when you all gloss over, I'll stop.
No, I mean, I'm listening. You lost Maggie.
About 23 minutes ago.
Well, it all is because all of the design values were redone in 1991. And so every piece of every region of the country tested their particular species, and whatever the analysis came out at that point, that's what the values was given. And quite frankly, with spruce pine fir south, which is 10 species altogether,
Yep.
they didn't test very many.
Gotcha.
So I think that's because we've tested, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. We got a lot of testing since then.
Yep.
That's why the results look different, and we believe it can be changed.
Oh, nice.
So it would be really nice to have that for our mills. It'd be a huge benefit. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about using SPFS for
Right.
structural
Yeah.
or in long spans.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Things like that.
Interesting.
So-
Because, I mean, truly, we go into these camps all the time, and we see these spans, and we're like, how the heck is
that
this
not
place?
falling
Yeah,
down?
but it makes sense. They're just if there wasn't the same quantity being tested, your results, and so.
Right, exactly. And that's and we've been stuck with those.
Yeah, right.
In fact, every species or species grouping has been stuck with what they have since 1991. So we feel we need to be higher,
Nice. Great.
definitely.
Fantastic. We'll take it.
Yeah. So that's kind of a synopsis of what we're up to.
Yeah.
What we've been doing a little bit.
Yeah. Covering the range.
Definitely a range, but that's the fun part that we do. Some of our peer groups only do grading.
Yep.
Or they only write the rules, and so since NELMA does a lot more, we feel like more bang for the buck for our members.
Sure.
And plus, it's just the variety always helps.
Yeah.
More fun.
Right. Yes. Keeps it interesting.
More fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, I think Maggie has a few questions lined up.
I do.
Perfect.
Ruh-roh.
Easy ones, right?
Of course. Are you ready?
Go.
Okay. This one is from Leland Graff. Can we get an eastern white pine in the Midwest? I live in Wisconsin and can find knotty pine. Is that the same thing?
Well, knotty pine is a nice little generic term that's used everywhere in the U.S., even in Europe. Uncertain, but I can tell you for sure that eastern white pine is available pretty much everywhere east of the Rockies. We know our mills sell to distributors in the Midwest, Chicago, Minneapolis, Detroit, all those areas. So it should be available. Plus, on our website, we have, and speaking of retailers, we have a list of retailers that you can search in a directory
That's good.
by state
Yep.
and by species and things of that nature, and that's the reason we have that on there. It may not be 100%, but we'd
Sure.
recommend people go there and see, because it's up to the retailer if they want to be on it or not.
Yep. Yep.
But they're I know there's some from the Midwest on there.
And I think that's also one of those things that a lot of people don't realize about the show is, we're surrounded by trees, surrounded by mills. Like,
Right.
it is so easily accessible for us that, it's just our go-to. So it helps, helps with the budget. It's just a great product we have right available, but it's, like we were out in Michigan and it was flat and not a lot of trees. So you think, okay, there are areas where, it has to be shipped in. So it's not going to be as just.
It's absolutely correct, Chase. So Eastern white pine, there are actually a couple of mills in One's in Wisconsin that produces occasionally eastern white pine.
Yep.
Because the species grows out there, but not in quantities that you will see a lot of product.
Sure.
So most of it is shipped in from our members here in New England.
So where would she go to get it in Wisconsin? Would she go to a lumber dealer and ask for it?
Yes.
I mean, not walk into a big box
Yeah.
store.
Well,
Or maybe.
Maybe. Now, they use a lot of different species. The big boxes buy regional. So it could be ponderosa pine or something of that nature out there. It depends on, that's kind of the melting pot for east and west species out there, naturally from transportation.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend going on our website
There you go.
to search, because hopefully there would be somebody in her area.
One website, NELMA.org.
One.
See how easy that is?
One.
Yes.
See how easy. Okay.
Okay. All right. And our next one, which one? Is from @Kelly Flat. Do you see the price of lumber coming down anytime soon?
You knew, you had to know that one was coming.
Right?
Oh, here's what I can say. As a trade association, we generally are, because we have all the mill members, we have to be careful of what we say on prices, because they're all part of us, and we don't want to give anybody the impression that we're setting prices or something like that. But the lumber is a commodity.
Yep.
And it's traded just like a commodity on the Chicago Exchange. And you'll see futures, and so a lot of that dictates the price. But the biggest thing is supply and demand. I mean, it's shocking to even, the mills, how much product that goes out the door. And it's surprising when I go to a mill to look at their inventory.
Yeah.
But it's truly, the country has been on fire in terms of building. Kim and I know a builder in New Hampshire, and he's not very big, and has 14 houses underway.
And he's never had that many. He's a civil engineer and a builder. Hey, Todd, if you're watching. And, he's very much in the industry, and Nelma's worked with him before, and he's been posting every day about how many houses he has on his plate. And he just works for a small company, and it's just overwhelming. Yeah. Because everyone is everyone's doing things. We're building.
Even here in Maine, you drive by and there's something going up somewhere, and just multiply that all across the country. And, it doesn't help that there is that overriding labor issue that every industry has. And it definitely impacts the lumber industry, because maybe even more so, because most of them, as you know, are in very small rural towns.
Yep.
And that's true in the South. It's true in the Midwest.
Absolutely.
So they, to increase production, which would be one of their wishes, is hampered by that.
Right.
If you don't have the labor, as you well know, what can you do? But it's really the demand. The demand is just off scale right now, that hurts. And, of course, supply-demand economics, you know what happens.
Yep.
I mean, as you know, we're not the only product in a house that's just skyrocketed. It's everything, supply, demand.
Yep. Wait times and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
It all affects it.
Yeah. Now, prices obviously went down a little bit in the fall, back to somewhat normal, and then they skyrocketed back up.
Are y'all seeing that at all? Are you having to wait for things to come in?
It's random stuff.
Yeah.
I think for a while it was electrical conduit.
Really?
Couldn't get it. And, the lead time on windows and stuff like that hasn't gone down much. But, it'll just be something random. It was showers for a little while.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
It's just, So it's hard to predict and plan for it.
True.
So.
The guy we were just talking about, he had a post the other day about garage doors.
Right.
That he said it's 6 to 8 months for garage doors. So when he's building a house, he probably sits down with him the first time and goes, okay, what garage door? No, we're choosing paint colors. No, you need to choose your garage door.
Right.
Because it can be here by the time you move in.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
so you think you're getting ahead of the game, and then you got 20 garage doors, and then you don't have outlet covers or something
Right.
nonsensical like that.
Yeah. And I know lumber prices are frustrating, without question. It could impact, people postponing projects.
Sure.
things like that. But with the thing everybody knows about lumber, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. So,
Yep. We're on and up.
yeah.
All right, that's all we have time for questions today.
All right. Well, Jeff, thanks again for joining us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it. Absolutely. Always do.
And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
And we are back with Project Pointers, brought to you by our friends at Benjamin Moore, the official paint and stain supplier of the Kennebec Cabin Company. If you've got a question, submit a short video, photos, and your location to podcast@mainecabinmasters.com. Might select yours, and we'll try and answer it as best as possible.
Okay, so do you want to look at those pictures?
Check out those photos, Kim.
And I will start reading you the question. This is from Rob LaDuke. I have a small cabin, about 500 square feet, with five roof structures on it. My plan is to take off the smaller roofs and consolidate down to 2 larger roof sections with the small bump out roof for the kitchen. 2 questions for you. What would you consider an adequate middle roof pitch for shedding snow? And second one, the cabin was built in the 1930s with 1930s framing ingenuity and has only 80 inches for ceiling height. I'd hate to start completely from scratch with new framing and would rather save the historic look inside the camp. Is there a way to do this and get 8-foot walls?
8-foot walls. It's a big wall.
So I don't understand the 5 roofs. Does that mean there's literally 5 pieces, like 5 different pitches?
So you've got one pitch.
Uh-huh.
It looks like you've got the main cabin that was probably there.
Right, and then added on to the left, and then add on to the right, and there must be something
There's probably
behind it.
probably another one off the back of it.
So they're clearly not connected. So it's 5 roofs. That's wow.
That's how they do it.
Wow.
Did it.
Did it.
Did
Guys,
it.
hold the picture up for the camera.
So, if I were to look at this and take on this project, I think the first thing I would do is the roof pitch on the right. I would just take and have it go directly up to the main cabin.
Raise it up.
Yeah, that pitch on the right is pretty much next to nothing. I don't really want to get into telling you what pitches for snow loads and all that, because it's dependent on where you are.
That would be building code.
It's building code and stress limits of lumber. Right? That NELMA
Yes.
set. So most lumber yards, you could go online and find those limits, because you have your weight limit, your dead limit, your snow loads, all those factors. So I really wouldn't want to give you a slope. I know that's a cop-out, but...
Check your local building codes.
Yeah. But I would say on the right-hand side, you could easily change the pitch of the roof to meet the existing roof without too much work. On the right-hand side, where the pitch is, it's really hard to tie that in, you probably could add on and tie the roof in higher up. But it all depends if it's balloon framed, where your framing goes all the way up, how close together your framing is. My guess is there probably isn't a lot of framing in those walls. But I know in the pilot episode of the Daggett Camp, they had a old addition off the back that didn't have a very steep pitch, but it had the old paneling roof. Back then they liked to close it in.
Right.
But I don't know why. But we opened it up, and just having that little bit of pitch on your roof makes a big difference in the side. So, it feels like it's a little bit more open, because that is really low.
So if he's asking about pitch on there, is he thinking of making something flat?
No, increasing.
Well, now this is where my ignorance shows. Not a builder, don't even play one on TV. But how is there a certain height And again, from the south. So is there a certain height or a pitch you have to hit for the snow to slide off and not create like an ice dam, or?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So in a cabin like this, there isn't going to be heat inside year-round, most likely. So that snow is just going to sit there.
And ice.
And ice.
Freeze.
And, if it warms up and it rains, it's just going to absorb all that moisture and weight.
Oh,
so,
okay.
It's called the snow load. You can go online and find out what your snow load is going to be.
Okay.
In certain areas, because up north, obviously your snow load is going to be much more than southern Maine.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to take that into account. But that being said, if you have a new metal roof, it doesn't take much of a pitch to get the snow to slide off. And really, it's also about worry. If you don't want to worry through the winter that snow is building up.
Right.
Or if you're around and able to go out and check on it regularly, shovel it off, then it's not as much of a concern.
That's interesting. It's really pretty on the inside.
Yeah, it's cute, but it definitely looks like he could bust out that paneling and, open it up, paint that part white too. Mm-hmm. You may have some exposed, wiring, stuff like that, but
that's trendy though.
It is trendy.
It's very cool. He could be super hip.
Yeah. On one of the camps, I think it was the Cook's Beach camp, our electrician, Jason Fredette, it was all exposed for wiring, and he ran it all in metal conduit, which looked really fantastic. It took a little bit more time, but
yeah,
it was definitely worth it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. So hopefully that answers your question one way or another. And that's it for Project Pointers. And so again, if you've got a question for us, submit a short video or photos with as much detail as possible to podcast@mainecabinmasters.com. And now we're on to a few fan questions.
Okay. This one is from David Baker. I have a 3-season cottage in New Hampshire. I'm finishing a porch at, and I'm using pine on the interior like you so often do. Do you use a shiplap or tongue and groove? Also, what do you use for a finish when you leave it natural?
This one's for you, Kim.
Thank you so much. Well, this is your question.
No.
But I have to editorialize and say shiplap is an installation process. Shiplap is not a product.
It's a profile.
It's a profile, and it's the way it's installed.
Yes.
That makes it shiplap. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Nice.
For all you shiplap fans out there, you know who you are. All right. That's the limit of my knowledge. So,
what was the question?
Do you use shiplap or tongue and groove? Also, what do you use for a finish when you leave it natural?
We use it all. We'll use shiplap. We'll use V-match. What?
And Benjamin Moore.
Oh, and Benjamin Moore.
Yes.
Yeah.
The beautiful Benjamin Moore.
So there's benefits to each. Shiplap, it just overlaps. Mm-hmm. So it goes up really fast, mm-hmm. but you have to have exposed fasteners. Whereas with V-match, it's the tongue and groove, so you can lock it together and you can do a hidden fastener, kind of on the edge of the tongue, so that way you don't see them. So really it all depends on the look you're going for. We aren't fussy. If we have a load of shiplap, we'll close in a wall. The other benefit of V-match on ceilings is that it locks together, so if you do have any sort of insulation up there, it's less likely to slowly make its way down, particles down through it. But, yeah. And then as far as finishes, it really all depends on what you're looking for. You can leave Eastern White Pine natural. It will darken up a little bit. You can polyurethane it. The new water-based polyurethanes are great from Benjamin Moore. Different sheens. They dry fast.
Nice.
Low VOCs. You can also tint them. You can stain it. It's really endless.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll do one last question from Charlie Myers. Kim, if there's one piece of advice you could give to any of your clients, what would it be?
What? One piece of advice I would give to any of my clients. Yeah, I have something, and it's just I can't say it. I think it would be trust the process, because sometimes with public relations, this is going to get a little deep into what I do, but sometimes, with advertising, when you do advertising, you place an ad, it shows up, you see it, bam. With public relations, what I do, it's about relationship building, so it takes longer to get to where you need to be. So it may take a couple press releases or 6 months or something like that to get an article where you want it, and things like that. So if you have hired a public relations professional, trust them and trust their process. It's very different from advertising, and that's okay. It's actually better. No,
Fabulous.
yeah, it is.
Well, that's a good piece of advice.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah.
I'll trust that it's a good piece of advice.
There you go.
Excellent. Thank you for those questions. Keep them coming. And yeah, now we're on to new merchandise promotions. Kim has a beautiful Maine Cabin Masters etched wine glass.
These are really beautiful.
Or water glass, whatever.
Or water.
Whatever.
Exactly. They're really beautiful.
And if you need to open that bottle of wine, we have these wooden fish wine keys. And
That's really pretty.
I'm assuming that's a knife or something to cut your cheese with your wine.
You had some wine with that cheese?
Yeah.
No, cheese with that wine.
Cheese with that wine.
So flip it around. Cheese with that wine?
But yeah, we've got these. We've got other tumblers. We've got pint glasses. We've got Woodshed pint glasses. KCC pint glasses.
Some pretty highball glasses down
Pretty
there.
hot
We were looking
shot
at.
glasses.
Yes, shot glasses too. Any kind of glass.
Yeah.
It's there.
Enamel ones. So yeah, check out our website for all the great products. All right. We're really going to test Kim's knowledge of Maine with a little trivia.
I'll go ahead and tell you this is going to be a big fail.
Forgot. All right.
Last week's question was...
What caused King Philip's War to spread into Maine?
Who is King Philip? What was he king of?
No idea.
England.
No, there's no. Was there a Philip in England? Not since the U.S. has been here.
Oh.
I don't know.
Like
man.
Victoria, Elizabeth.
It was due
That has to be
to...
like Denmark or something.
Oh. Trapping rights. Logging.
Dang it. Oh, I was going to...
You guys you're never going to
Okay.
get it.
Fishing.
Nope. You guys, you're so far off. I'm going to tell you. English sailors drowned the infant son of a Native American chief.
Oh.
Not even close.
Yeah, you were never
Jeez,
going to get that.
Maggie.
Wow. I think I would have had a war over that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a nice thing to do.
No.
No, but I just read an article. I believe it was on the Saco River. And there was they're putting in a statue to commemorate the incident, a Native American statue, because after that happened, they colonialists, colonial,
The colonialists. Colonists.
colonialists.
No, colonists.
colonists,
Yes.
started a I don't know, colonized. No,
Chasey, what are you trying to get
I
at
lost
here?
it wasn't a rumor. It was a curse
Oh.
that anybody who swam in the river would die
Oh, no.
Oh, how awful.
because they said that the chief cursed the river.
Because his child.
Yep. So they're putting up a statue to hopefully debunk that myth and, just bring light to the
Right.
awful
Awful situation.
situation.
Commemorate the life loss.
Yeah. Way to be very current in your trivia.
Yeah, wow. And did you know that when you chose it? Say yes.
Yes,
Yes, I
yes.
did. Yes, of course I did. Yeah.
All right.
Rule number 2 of PR. Own it.
Are you ready for the next one? This week's trivia, it's what is the other name for the bird known as the gorbey? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right.
Where's my phone?
Gorby?
Gorbey.
I have no idea.
It's French. It's gourmet. I have no idea.
Well, if you think you know the answer, submit it to podcast at mainecabinmasters.com. And if you're the first one, we will send you along a beautiful prize. So good luck. And that's it for today. Thank you, Kim, for joining us.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
This was a lot of fun.
Thank you. I enjoyed this very much.
Yeah. And thank you,
Maggie.
Jeff. Thank you,
Jen.
Maggie. Thank you, Jen. And thank you to our sponsors, NELMA, Hero Media Network, Hammond Lumber Company, Kennebec Savings Bank, Pinterest, and From the Woodshed. We'll be talking to you.
From the Woodshed has been brought to you by NELMA. See the stamp, trust the quality. Hammond Lumber, your building project partner. Kennebec Savings Bank, helping our local community save, thrive, and grow for over 150 years. And Hero Media Network, connecting small business with new customers. From the Woodshed is a production of Kennebec Cabin Company. See you next time.